Hello everyone, I'm Lady Calamere. I welcome you to my channel. I am doing my 259th video and it will be on Amphitrite. Not to be confused with Aphrodite, eh? Aphrodite. So this comes from The Ancient Feminine Wisdom of Goddesses and Heroines by Kay Stevenson and Brian Clark. So giving credit where credit is due. And we have Charlie O'Barley. We have Loki Lofison in the background. And we got Lord Maximus there. Hello, Lord Maximus. So Amphitrite, she is the wife of Poseidonus. That is Greek for the god Poseidon. So he's pronounced Poseidonus in Greek. So as you can tell, my cats are being brats right now. So you'll hear the cat toy. So she is a goddess, one of the goddesses of the ocean and the seas and waters. And later on her worship, she became from a goddess to just a reference to the sea. So when poets wrote about Aphrodite, they were calling her the literal sea instead of a goddess. So some of her qualities have been lost. However, she is usually seen, especially by Hesiod, the child of a sea goddess, Doris, and the sea god, Nereus. But according to also not Hesiod, but also Apollodorus, but it's kind of confusing because Apollodorus said she's also a daughter of Nereus and Doris, as well as Oceanus and Tethys. Oceanus is wrongly pronounced Oceanus, but if you look at the word Okeanos, sometimes it's spelled Ocean. That's where we get our word ocean from Oceanus. She is usually seen as a Nereid, one of the 50 Nereids. Other times she's seen as an Oceanid, being the child of Oceanus, an Oceanid. So Amphitrite is the queen of the ocean, the queen of the seas. She has different offspring depending on who you're talking to, or talking about. Seals, fish, dolphins, and all shellfish are her children. But she also takes care of anything and any animal that lives in the sea. Whether they're whether it be from starfish, sharks, whales, mammals, and fish, and anything, creatures that live in the sea or the ocean. Her other children, one of her most famous child, is Triton. So all the children that she has is pretty much by Poseidonus, Poseidon. So Triton, Rhode, and there is another one, Benthesikme, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and Chymopolia. So she originally did not want to marry Poseidonus. Poseidonus had his eye on another goddess, but he was told through prophecy that if he married this goddess, that his child would outshine him, will be greater than him. So he no longer had interest in this goddess. So he saw this lady, Amphitrite, but she did not really want to be with him at all because she heard about his ways, and she did not want to be like Hera and have a husband that treats her bad or cheat on her. And so when you really look at the trinity of the gods of Zeus, Poseidon, Poseidon, and Hades is considered the best of the three because he doesn't do to his wife what Zeus and Poseidon does. So anyways, she had no interest. She flees to the mountains of Atlas, and she hides there. She hides in the ocean in Atlas. So Poseidon sends his messenger called Delphine, which means dolphin. So the Delphine seeks her out and tries to give her, coax her, because Poseidon tried to so many things. She offered her treasures of the sea, offered her so much that she didn't want anything to do with it. She'd rather be chasing a virgin than be with him. So Delphine convinced this goddess to come back and be the bride of Poseidon, Poseidonus, in which that's his pronunciation in Greek, and in which she did. And Poseidon was so happy that he made Delphine into a constellation in honor of the dolphin. So she becomes his bride. And of course, he goes through all this trouble to pretty much what he does to her what Zeus does to Hera. Cheat. Not as much as Zeus, but he cheats a lot. He has a roving eye. He goes from one lady, one goddess, one female after another. But again, his main love is Amphitrite. So here's a picture of her, and this is the Oracle of Death of Feeling. And again, it comes from this lovely deck, Ancient Feminine Wisdom of Goddesses and Heroines. So pick it up at Amazon.com or your local occult shop. So she is the loud moaning sea. She's called the loud moaning sea, but her name, actually translation, means, and some people get this wrong, they think it's something else, so it means encircling third. So encircling third, that's exactly what her name means. And if you look at the name of Triton, his name means of the third. And Triton pretty much is a half man on the top, and his bottom half is that a tail of a fish. So she deals with all the sea and all the ocean, but she also deals with emotion. She deals with emotions of not only of women but also of men. She deals with the depth of feeling, the depth of understanding. She's very a deep goddess when it comes to emotions, feelings, compassion and empathy, love and care. She deals with the subconscious mind, the deep mind. Where do our feelings fell from. She deals with that. She also deals with women that have been tricked, duped, abused, and raped. So, and she is said to have a golden net on her hair, a crab's claw on her forehead. She also holds her finger. It's like this, like as if she's like a crab, or a claw, like pinch, holding it up. And she holds the she also holds the trident that Poseidon allows his queen to hold. Sometimes she is seen, here she's by herself, but sometimes she's seen riding a chariot being driven by sea creatures. We see women here. They look like mermaids, but she is seen with on a chariot with her husband, or she's seen seated next to him on a throne. So she, like Poseidonus, have a lot of wealth. She's very rich. So she can also be called upon for prosperity and wealth. Another thing that people would do would pray to her to give them a safe journey across the ocean or the sea, and to have a bountiful catch if they're fishermen. So she would be involved with that. So if you are in the Marine Corps, the Navy, or the Coast Guard, lifeguard, if you're a fisherman, you work on a fish boat or an oil rig out in the ocean, you can ask this goddess to provide you protection, to let you have a good journey and a bountiful catch. But just remember not to trash the ocean, to rape the ocean, to over harvest the ocean. Is that she does not like her oceans trashed in that way. Now, of course, Poseidonus is he really cares for his dolphins. And because it was the dolphin that brought her to come to him and be his bride. So the dolphin, and she does like the dolphin. And I don't think she thinks she was duped by the dolphin, but she does protect women. Not saying that the dolphin duped her, but she does protect women. So she has some stories in the old myth, and you can find her stories and her mythology. So Amphitrite was, depicted in art, in decorations of her husband's temple, and she was sometimes honored alongside the god Poseidonus. So in the temple of Corinth, the Poseidon temple, Poseidonus, but we call him Poseidon here, and the Corinth, there were offerings there. There are offerings to not only to Poseidon, but also Poseidon, but to also her. So if you want to honor her and give her offerings, and it's just, it's people will say, well, why would you give her fish? But if you look at Santeria and the Orishas, I'm not saying she's Yemaya, but they offer her seafood, and she whose children is the fish. If you look at my Yemaya presentation, so you can give her fish that was uh, from the ocean or the sea. Well, they also come from lakes too and rivers, but you can give her silver. You can give her shells. You can't go wrong with sweet things and chocolate and cakes. You can give her sushi. You can give her nice, like, pearls. She likes pearls, especially the pearls from the ocean pearls. You can give her cakes and fruit, especially a lot of watery fruit, like you think of different types of melons. Also, grapes is a good one for her. Wine and champagne. Give her juice, like watermelon juice or grape juice. You can give her nori, which is seaweed, sheets of seaweed. Give her crystals like very blue crystals, like blue quartz, or something that doesn't dissolve in water. Like celestite would dissolve in water. I mean, you can use it for the color for her, but I would give her like stick with the blue quartz, or I mean, you could put celestite on her altar. Give her fresh as well as seawater. You can give her, make her altar very beach-like or deep ocean. You could put images of seahorses there. So, another thing, cucumbers are also a good offering. I mean, not all of these are traditional, but cucumbers, star fruit, is another good offering for her. So, and as far as melons, anything, honeydew, cantaloupe, yellow watermelon. And did you know that the original watermelon was actually yellow, not pink? The original color of watermelon was yellow, and that was from Africa. And as it was taken across to different countries like China, it became pink because of the soil and stuff. But the original color of watermelon was yellow. So it doesn't matter what color watermelon, yellow or pink, seedless or with seeds. That doesn't matter. You can give her white chocolate too. Give her chocolate in the shape. You ever see that Godiva chocolate shaped like a starfish? That's also a really good offering to her. To give her something like that. That's like really special. Chocolate covered fruits. You can't go wrong with that. Flowers and roses are also good for her. Places where you will find her, of course, the shore, the beach, the coast, out right now in the sea, the ocean. So those are the places you will find her. And when you call upon her, you can play the sounds of whales and dolphins. And a way to honor her, too, is also to clean up the beach and the coastline, to fight for animal rights that live in the sea, the whales and the dolphins, and to be involved, whether through petitions, through donations of money or time, to help protect our oceans and not to over harvest it. So if you want to, some people feel that they do not want to work with Poseidonus. That's fine, but they want to work with an ocean goddess, then they will go to her. They will go to the queen of the seas and the ocean, that she is not only the goddess, but also the spirit, the power, and the beauty and majesty of the waters. So, of course, her element is water. And her domain, she also the ocean, also burial at sea. So the people that have been buried there or died at sea, she says to basically at least take care of them until they move on. She, as far as approachable, she is approachable, but remember, she could be temperamental too. But she is not as temperamental as Poseidonus, and Zeus thought it would be a good idea for Poseidonus to get married because he was pretty wild. In fact, it was said that his waves would be so, tidal waves, he would get so grumpy and so temperamental that his waves would reach the sky in the Greek stories. So the king of the gods thought it would be great for the king of the oceans to have a wife to calm him down and keep him busy, and to be able to temper that anger, because Poseidon has been known to flip out, and when he flips out, it isn't good for anyone. And his name literally means earth shaker, and he causes earthquakes too. Just keep that in mind. Poseidonus actually means earth shaker, and that he could take his trident and strike the ground and cause earthquakes. So Zeus sought to be in the best interests of everyone for Poseidonus to have a wife. She is very beautiful to look at. She is said to have long golden hair, long golden tresses, and again, she wears a golden net. She's royalty, okay? She's very rich. She's very elegant. In fact, Nereus was happy when Poseidonus offered his hand to her, that his daughter would be queen of the sea. And Rhode was a daughter by Poseidonus, where we get the name Rhodes from. And there's even a island, island of Rhodes. And she actually becomes the wife of Helios, the sun god, who is the patron of the island of Rhodes. So, but other stories say it wasn't Amphitrite who was the mother of Rhodes. It was Aphrodite, a different goddess. Not, I know they sound alike, but they are not the same goddess. They do deal with oceans. And Aphrodite also, this goddess also deals with love, just like Aphrodite. She also deals with emotions and love. So she can help you with love spells, just like Aphrodite. So again, it's not like Highlander where it can only be one. The deities are multi-layered. You can't pigeonhole our deities, okay? So the deities have different qualities, and sometimes they overlap with each other. So if you look at Kimopalea, her name literally means wave, raging wave, the raging wave. And she was a goddess that dealt with the violent storms at sea, especially the waves that were caused by the violent storms. Okay, there are different. Well, was it not Poseidon? So does it? There are, was it around 54? No, deities or dealing with the sea, or a little bit more than 54, but. And this goddess, the daughter I'm talking about, also allies herself with Zeus. So and as far as Triton, he also is a herald of Poseidonus, who would still the waves, who's able to calm the waves with his conch shell trumpet. He's able to stop turbulent waters, so people would call upon Triton to help them. And the other deity, the daughter that I have trouble pronouncing it, is Benthis Sikimi, which means the deep swells, dealing with swells in the ocean. And she was also becomes the wife. She takes the hand of the sea, the god, Analos, which means of the sea, and he becomes, of course, the king of Ethiopia. So she was the daughter of Poseidonus and Amphitrite, who becomes the wife of Analos. I shouldn't say God because he's the king of Ethiopia, and the lady of the deep swells. So when Amphitrite is becoming more and more known, some people have said Aphrodite, don't you mean that? No, Amphitrite. And I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. But she also deals with the sounds of the seas, the loud moaning sea. And like I said, she's holding the trident here in which she is allowed to wield the trident. And she's one of the 50, or sometimes she's 100 daughters of the Nereus, which were the Nereids. So, depending on the story, it's 50, total of 50 sisters, or 100. So, what else can I talk about her? She not only deals with emotions, but she also teaches you how to express them right. There's a wrong way and a right way to express your emotions. She can guide you on that. As far as incense, anything that good incense for her would be something like very ocean smelling. Or there's another type of incense and I burn it a lot. Nag Champa, that's what I'm thinking about. Nag Champa is also a good one to burn for her. So if you're looking for different oils, think of like ocean smells, ocean, fresh sea smells, or definitely Nag Champa is a great incense for her, as well as an oil. And yes, you can get Nag Champa oil. Also, another thing that wouldn't be bad, actually would be good, you can give her milk. To some people have creams and milk. Also, like the cream foam that you put in your coffee, you can give her some of that. It's just weird, but you could put it in like a little shot glass for her. Sorry, so go back to your offerings. So, she is, what do I want to say? She is like the connection of the sea as well as the nature around the beach and the sandbars and everything. She deals with that. And she is very powerful. Do not think she is not powerful. She is extremely, extremely powerful. So, anyways, she will help you with water spells, anything to do with the power of water. She's your goddess. She's also another symbol of her is a crown, trident, and golden net and crab claws are her symbols. She, I'm just trying to remember. I do not use notes or scripts. But she, among her, she does also love seals. Seals are also, as well as dolphins, really hold a special place in this goddess's heart. So put down seals as well. So she nurtures the seals, okay? And these seals navigate the ocean, the currents of the ocean. That she helps them, and she delights in watching them on the rocky shores. So another way to honor her is also be mindful and stand against cruelty to seals and to protect them. One of the stories of what Greenpeace did is before the people who do these cruel seal hunts, and I it's absolutely cruel how they do it. It's barbaric. So what they did was got non-toxic paint, permanent paint, and decided to put artwork on all the seals, tic tac toes, and tic tac toe on them, and put like all these pretty designs. And people said, "Well, that's cruel." And I said, "No, it wasn't." And they said, "Yes, it was cruel to do that to them." And I said, "No, it wasn't. It saved their lives." Why? Because the paint was permanent, and it ruined the fur. It ruined the fur of the seals. And then when the hunters came to hurt these animals, they couldn't hurt them. His fur was basically useless to the hunters, and these seals were allowed to live. So tell me, what was more cruel? Painting them harmlessly, or hurting them, clubbing them in the head and skinning them alive? Especially baby seals. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's barbaric. So again, things like that honor Amphitrite. And I remember when I was in high school, my teacher told me about that, and Mr. Tanowski, and I was, I was like, yay! So, and when they protected the whales, that's another way to honor this goddess. Amphitrite is not without her jealousies, not nearly to the amount of Hera's jealousies, but Amphitrite has it was a beautiful sea nymph named Scylla, Scylla. Well, was having an affair. Basically, Poseidon's had his eye on her, and they had an affair. So Scylla transformed her into a sea monster with multiple feet, multiple heads, and she turned her into she transformed her and tormented her. And Scylla stands as a reminder of this goddess's jealousy, wrath, and vengeance. So I'll teach you to go after my man. And maybe one day I'll talk about that other goddess, that other lady. But yeah, Amphitrite and Scylla, no, they, from what I understand, is yeah, they need to be. Scylla needs to be way over there, away from her, and she does not want her near Poseidon, her husband. Yeah, I'm saying Poseidonus because that's the way they say it in Greece. So yeah, she basically, in her vengeance, transformed the beautiful Scylla into a sea monster. So just remember that. Aphrodite is a mother goddess. If you were to maiden, warrior, mother, crone, and sovereign queen, I definitely not only will put her in queen, but also mother. She's very motherly. But she does have a capacity for jealousy. So you can also call her if your husband or is cheating. It I've never had to do stuff like that. You know, but yeah, I really believe that you can use her to, if you find out maybe your husband's going to cheat, or someone's kind of going after your man or woman, your wife. So maybe you're a woman married to another woman who's going to cheat on you. So and if you do have Amphitrite, let me know how that works. So, but the evolving, shifting cultural beliefs and values led to the decline of Amphitrite, and where she becomes from a goddess to the sea. And I know I repeat a little bit, but that's how I teach. That's how I learn. I do it by, also by repetition. So her role in Greek religion, Greek spirituality, her cult starts fading, and she becomes less celebrated. While her husband, Poseidonus, becomes more celebrated and gains more prominent. And we see Aphrodite just, but now we're starting to see an uprise, an uptick in her worship, which is pretty cool. So, in modern times, this goddess's name has been lent to ships, numerous ships being named after her, to pay homage to her. And she's been a subject of artwork with sculptures, drawings, and paintings, and even stamps featuring her. Little stamps have featured her iconic image. So, yeah, she's portrayed beautifully in art. So, what else can I say about her? She is a mysterious goddess. Oh, Lord Maximus. Max. Yes, Lord Maximus sneezing. Say hi to Maximus. There he is. We see Lord Maximus. So, we are rediscovering her. And of course, there's going to be a lot of unverified personal gnosis about her and shared personal gnosis. Because a lot of her powers have been, well, not her powers, but the knowledge of her powers have been lost throughout history. So now it's time for her to shine once again. And so, anyways, another thing that you can give her before I go back to your offerings, coins. Treasure. So when you think about old coins, silver coins, you could put that on her altar. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I am not accepting money for my presentations. I do not have a Patreon account. So if you want to pay me, do spells for me for money, peace, protection, happiness, all the good spells that you can think of. Send good spirits my way. Send healing to my cats and protection to my cats. And you can do that. You can also give money to societies that protect sea animals and the sea and the ocean, to protect dolphins, whales, sharks that are being threatened. So you can do that instead of giving me the money, although I love money. That's another way you can pay me. Please, if you really want to support this channel, give me a like, subscribe, share this video on your internet handle, your Facebook. I guess you could do it with your Twitter account. I don't have Twitter, so social media. And thank you so much for watching. As always, blessed be.